We're counting down the 10 most disturbing attacks in the Terminator, a ranking that reveals how an unfeeling machine turned 1984 Los Angeles into a relentless nightmare. Each entry shows how calculated brutality replaced mercy at every turn. Let us begin with number 10. At 1:52 a.m., the Terminator arrives in Los Angeles, stripped of any disguise or humanity. Its first act is blunt and transactional. 3 punk rockers, including a spiked-haired figure played by Bill Paxton, stand near the Griffith Observatory. The machine demands their clothes, and when they refuse, it kills without pause or anger. Just necessity. Each victim falls not for who they are, but for being in the wrong place with something the machine needs. Brad Fiedel's cold synth motif pulses beneath the scene, announcing that logic, not emotion, now rules the night. The rules are set. No mercy, no negotiation. Number 9. Wrong Sarah Connor home invasion. At 12:02 p.m., Sarah Ann Connor answers her door in a quiet Los Angeles neighborhood. A stranger outside somehow knows her name, though he does not know her face. He confirms her identity, then kills her in her own home, leaving her children orphaned. The Terminator's method is brutally simple. A phone book becomes a kill list, and any matching name is a target. Neighbors, alarmed by the sudden violence, call the police, but the machine's logic is already set in motion. For the machine, it is a data problem with a lethal solution. Innocent lives erased by algorithm, not malice. The horror is in the routine, not the spectacle. Inside a real Los Angeles gun shop, the Terminator moves with chilling precision. It scans the racks, selecting a .45 long slide with a laser sight, a pump-action shotgun, and an Uzi 9mm. The proprietor, played by Dick Miller, tries to keep pace as the list grows stranger. No one asks for phased plasma rifles in 1984. When the owner insists on paperwork, the transaction ends instantly. The Terminator shoots him without hesitation, treating murder as a simple solution to supply problems. Armed with an arsenal, the machine leaves, now fully equipped for the destruction to come. Violence here is just another step in preparation. Before 6:12 p.m., another woman named Sarah Connor is found dead, killed in the same precise manner as the first. The pattern is undeniable. Both victims share nothing but their name, and both are targeted with clinical efficiency. News reports begin to circulate, fueling public anxiety as authorities struggle to find a motive. Investigators are left with only confusion and a growing sense of helplessness. The randomness of the attacks strips away any illusion of safety for those who share the name. Each identical killing amplifies the fear that anyone, anywhere, could be next. No reason, no warning, just the machine's relentless logic. Matt Buchanan's evening at Sarah Connor's apartment is ordinary until the door bursts open. The Terminator enters, scanning for its target, but finds only Ginger and Matt. Matt reacts on instinct, putting himself between the machine and his girlfriend, fighting back with nothing but his own strength. In a few brutal moments, his resistance is crushed. The apartment becomes a crime scene. Matt's attempt to protect Ginger is over before it can matter. His sacrifice swallowed up by the machine's indifference. The promise of safety at home is shattered, and the cost of being close to Sarah Connor grows heartbreakingly clear. Ginger Ventura's final moments unfold in the most ordinary setting. A bedroom, headphones on, unaware that death has entered the apartment. The Terminator's mission logic drives it straight to her, mistaking Ginger for Sarah because she answers the phone and shares the address. There is no hesitation. Ginger is shot repeatedly with the laser-sighted pistol. Her life ended not for who she is, but for being in the wrong place. On the answering machine, her voice and the gunshots are recorded together, capturing the machine's mistaken sense of completion. When Sarah later hears this message, the shock is devastating. The loss of her best friend, preserved as cold data, is the moment that forges Sarah's transformation from bystander to survivor. Linda Hamilton described this scene as the point where Sarah's innocence is lost forever, a trauma that will haunt her long after the nightmare ends. Night falls over downtown Los Angeles as Sarah Connor is led into police custody. Surrounded by armed officers who believe their station is an impenetrable fortress. The Terminator arrives at the front desk, asks for Sarah by name, and when refused, opens fire without hesitation. Within minutes, the station's corridors become a battleground. The machine moves methodically, clearing every room, every hallway, its weapons cutting down anyone who stands in the way. 17 officers are killed in the span of the assault, an entire shift wiped out by a single adversary. Radios crackle with calls for backup that never arrive in time. The building's alarms, the locked doors, the badges and uniforms all prove meaningless. For the Terminator, authority is just another obstacle to be eliminated. Critics at the time debated whether this sequence crossed a line. Cameron insisted it was essential. The collapse of institutional power exposes the true terror, a threat that no system, no badge, no gun can stop. The massacre leaves Sarah more isolated than ever, and the city's last line of defense in ruins. Neon lights flicker above the crowded dance floor as Sarah Connor slips into tech noir, clutching her purse and scanning the room for safety. The club is alive with synth beats and laughter, a snapshot of 1984 nightlife, an illusion of sanctuary that feels untouched by the threat outside. But that illusion shatters in seconds. The Terminator enters, moving with mechanical certainty through the crowd. Strobe lights flash over chrome and leather as he locks eyes on Sarah at the bar. Innocent patrons are hit as bullets tear through the music and bodies. Panic surges, shouts, overturned tables, people scrambling for exits that suddenly feel miles away. Brad Fiedel's industrial score pulses louder, every note tightening the sense of inevitability. Kyle Reese bursts through the chaos, firing back just in time to pull Sarah from the line of fire. The club, once a refuge, becomes a war zone. In that moment, the city nightlife is transformed. No public space is safe, and no crowd can shield you from a threat that does not care who gets in its way. Tires screech as Sarah and Kyle burst into a multi-level parking garage, the echo of gunfire still ringing in their ears. The Terminator commandeers a police cruiser, siren wailing, and plunges in after them. Concrete pillars whip past as the chase winds through narrow ramps and blind corners, every surface turning into a trap. Precision drives the machine's piloting. Its handling is almost surgical, using the bulk of the stolen cruiser as a battering ram and pushing aside obstacles without hesitation. Other cars are clipped or sent spinning, drivers barely escaping with their lives. The confined architecture magnifies every risk. There is nowhere to hide, nowhere to turn, only the relentless advance of the machine. Explosion on set became part of the character. During filming, a real explosion misfired, singeing Schwarzenegger's eyebrows and leaving a scorch that Cameron decided to keep, adding to the Terminator's battered, inhuman look. The production's commitment to practical stunts produced actual near misses, stunt drivers threading the garage at high speed, and a heightened sense of real danger. Battleground is the wrong word until you see it. The garage, meant for everyday safety, becomes a place where the rules of the city are erased. Every second stretches nerves to the breaking point, exhaustion mounting for Sarah and Kyle as the chase barrels toward its final showdown. Steam rises from the factory floor as Sarah and Kyle stagger through a maze of machinery, the Terminator closing in behind them, damaged but undeterred. Kyle's last act is pure desperation. He jams a homemade pipe bomb into the cyborg's abdomen and shoves it under a hydraulic press. The explosion rips the Terminator apart, but the nightmare refuses to end. From the smoke and debris, the chrome endoskeleton claws its way back to its feet. Gone is any trace of humanity. What remains is the pure machine: metal teeth, burning eyes, skeletal hands. Stan Winston's animatronic puppet, unpredictable after a last-minute malfunction, moves with a jerky, unnatural rhythm that only heightens the sense of something inhuman, refusing to die. Brad Fiedel's score hammers with metallic urgency, every clang echoing the factory's relentless machinery, merging sound and threat into one. Alone, injured, and cornered, Sarah lures the endoskeleton into the path of a hydraulic press. She slams the button, crushing the machine at last. Its red eye flickers out, but the silence that follows is uneasy. Proof that the true horror was never just the violence, but the logic that drove it. The Terminator's persistence, even in ruin, is the ultimate expression of a nightmare that cannot be reasoned with or outrun. Human ingenuity wins, but the scars remain, and the machine's echo lingers in every shadow. This is the film's final, unforgettable image, the logic of death, stripped of flesh, defeated by will alone. From the cold efficiency of the Griffith Observatory encounter to the relentless endoskeleton in the factory climax, these 10 attacks chart a 47-hour descent into terror, where no one, not punks, not police, nor bystanders, is ever truly safe. The ranking reveals a chilling pattern. The Terminator's victims are chosen by circumstance, not by threat, and the innocent become collateral in a data-driven pursuit that shows no mercy. Authority collapses in the police station siege. Personal spaces are shattered in apartment killings. Public sanctuaries like Tech Noir are turned into battlegrounds. Each scene erodes the idea that institutions or crowds can protect you. The most disturbing revelation is not only the violence, but the logic behind it. Calculated, unemotional, inevitable. Every act functions like a step in an algorithm, efficient and unfeeling. What set these moments apart was their ability to weaponize both technology and human vulnerability, transforming ordinary settings into sites of horror and turning everyday choices into deadly consequences. Ultimately, this list proves that in James Cameron's vision, the real fear lies in a threat that will never negotiate, never feel remorse, and never stop. The Terminator's legacy endures as the blueprint for the unstoppable nightmare, a reminder that the most disturbing attacks are those where humanity itself is powerless against pure machine logic.